Hey guys, what's up? I'm Brian with Fisher's Off-Road, and in today's video, we're going to be walking you through an oil change in our Yamaha RMAX1000. Now, all the details and information that we're going to share with you today can be found in your owner's manual, but we're going to go ahead and break it down for you in this video so you know exactly how to do it. We're going to be using the Yamaha Yamalube Oil Change Kit, and this is part number LUB-SXSCG-KT35, and that's the kit for your RMAX 1000. And it has the oil, the crush washers, the oil filter. It's got everything you need in here. And then when you come to your owner's manual, all your information's in here. On page 9-13, you can see it says to change the engine oil. It tells you everything you need to do. Park your vehicle on a level surface, remove the cup holder panel. We've already done that. Start the engine, let it warm up, and you want to do that so that the oil flows nice and easy whenever you go to drain it. We've already taken the rear cup holder out. That's this thing right here. It goes on there, and it's only 5 of these little screws right here, so it's really nothing major. And the reason I took that out is because we went ahead and washed it. You know, I really believe in washing your vehicle really good before you work on it, because you're going to be up in the top of the engine. You're going to be down here in this part of the engine. I mean, you're going to want to get it as clean as you can. You can see we've still got some dirt and stuff on there, but I tell you what, it's an off-road vehicle and it's going to get dirty, and you just got to work around that sometimes. What we're going to do now is we're going to remove the cylinder head cap. We're going to take this off, put that there, and then we're going to take the oil tank cap, which is right here. We're going to take that off. Okay, so we got our caps removed on the top of the engine and the oil tank. Now we got to drain it from the bottom. We'll remove the oil tank drain plug, and that is a 10 millimeter, and we have a trough right there to kind of catch it so it doesn't run all over the frame. Just like that. All right, guys, what we're looking at here is the oil tank drain bolt. And if you look, the used crush washer is on the left and the new crush washer is on the right. And you can see a difference in them. And the reason you want to change your crush washer is because when you go to set it to Yamaha specs, it won't be correct. So you're going to have to over tighten it if it does start leaking, and then you can actually twist the bottom of your tank off and do damage to your vehicle. All right, guys, so we got our oil tank drain bolt here. We got our new crush washer. We're going to go ahead and put it on and torque it to specs. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move under the vehicle. That's where we're at right now. We're coming in from the passenger side, and you're going to come in here and hit this kind of oblong hole right here, and you're going to get two 12 millimeter drain bolts up in there for the engine oil. You want to make sure you do not mistake it for this one over here. That's for your belt housing. If you happen to get water in it, you can drain it there. And you'll notice here in the bottom of my unit, I got the UHMWPE skids on here, and we can still get up in here to change the oil and do all that good stuff. And the good thing about these is they are just a bolt that's on there and not a rivet that's gonna be hard to get off to do anything if you ever want to do anything underneath the machine. We've got our bolts we're going to put back in with the new crush washers. We'll torque these to specs, and then we'll move on to the oil cooler drain bolts. Next, we're up front here, and we're going to get these oil cooler drain bolts out, and they are an 8 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and break those loose. We got our new crush washers on our oil cooler drain bolts. So we'll go ahead and put those back in and torque them to specs. The next thing we're going to do is you're going to come over here, and it's going to tell you to start adding oil, but you don't want to do that. You want to skip over to here and look at this part to change the engine oil and oil filter. This part over here is all prepping you and getting you up to speed on changing the oil, so if you don't change the filter. But you always want to make sure you change your filter when you're changing your oil. So you come over here for the engine oil and filter, and it shows you everything you need to do, so we're going to dive right on into that. Now we're moving on back here to the passenger side of the vehicle, and this is where you're going to remove the rear panel right here. I've already taken it off just to save time, but it's 4 10mm bolts and one of those plastic push pin screw type things. You just remove that and your 4 bolts, and then it comes right off. There's 2 bolts. There's one here on the bottom, 2 up top, and then that push pin screw deal. And you take that off. You take the panel off. Then you got your filter wrench, and you just put it right in here. And you break that loose, and it really won't be all that tight, but it helps out a lot if you have an oil filter wrench. One thing you'll want to keep an eye on is when you take your oil filter off, you want to make sure the O-ring stays on the old oil filter. Sometimes they'll stick to the side of the crankcase, and then when you put the new oil filter on there, you'll have a leak. So you got your new oil filter, you're getting ready to put it on. You can go ahead and grab some of your new oil and just take and put a little dab around that O-ring. Make sure you get a good seal on it. You don't want to put that on there dry. Just put a good oil seal on there, and then you'll put that on there, screw it on. Now we'll snug it up with the oil filter wrench, and then what we'll do is we'll take our torque wrench and we'll set it to the Yamaha torque specs. All right, guys, here we go. We are at the point of the oil change where we're going to start putting the oil back into the engine. We're going to put 1.59 quarts into the engine and 2.17 quarts into the oil tank. Then we're going to fire it up. We're going to bring it up to temperature. Then we're going to check our levels, our oil levels, and see where they're at and how much more we need to add, and just kind of go from there. Another question we get is, do they put this dipstick in there and pull it back out and check the oil, or do you put it in and screw it in and then check the oil? Well, I talked to my buddy Patrick Gilsey the other day, and Pat is a genius when it comes to these Yamahas. I talk to him quite a bit, pick his brain quite often, because I'm always fascinated by the stuff I can learn from him. But he not only told me something that he learned about the dipstick years ago, whenever it comes to Yamahas, not necessarily everything else out there, but when it comes to Yamaha, this is a dipstick, not a screw stick. So you don't screw the threads in when you're checking your oil level. If you want to get that first thread started, just to make sure you're level and everything's cool, that's fine. But you don't want to screw that down and then unscrew it and check your level, because that's not going to be correct. Another thing I was talking to Pat about was the dry sump system that Yamaha uses. Some guys, I've heard people say that, it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more difficult. It's more to the oil change, which it is a little bit more to the oil change, but a lot of you guys know this, that a dry sump system, one of the benefits of it is this vehicle can be on any angle. It can be on its side, straight up and down, whatever. It's still going to get oil to the top of the engine. You're not going to starve the top of the engine for oil, no matter what angle the vehicle's on. But the number one reason that Yamaha uses a dry sump system is because they don't have the oil pan on the bottom, so that gives them the ability to lower that engine quite a bit, so they get a better center of gravity. The vehicle isn't as top heavy, it rides better, it drives better. So Yamaha's really thinking whenever it comes to that. So I get a lot of guys asking me that question, so there you go. I got that right from Pat at Yamaha, and I just think it's genius, some of the stuff they do with these side-by-sides. So we're going to go ahead and get the oil in, and then we're going to fire it up and check our levels. All right, there we go. We got the cap on here on the top of our engine there, and then we're going to get this dipstick screwed in here, and we're going to fire it up and let it run for a little bit, and then we're going to check our levels. All right, we've had it running for a while. We got our engine temperature up. We're going to go ahead and check our level, see where we're at. All right, we're down there a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and add more to it. Just remember, if you get any excess oil on the engine anywhere, you want to make sure you wipe it off, because once she gets up to temperature, she's going to smoke you out if you got oil all over the engine. Clean it up, and what we'll do now is we'll run it a little bit more. We'll check our levels, and if our levels are all good, then we're going to go ahead and button this thing up, and we're ready to ride. Well, all right, guys, that's a wrap on the Yamaha RMAX oil change. If you want to get this kit, you can get it at shopyamaha.com or your local Yamaha dealer. If this looks like it may be over your head a little bit mechanically, you can go to your local Yamaha dealer. They'd be happy to help you out. If you got any questions, feel free to hit me up. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Have a good one.